Mr. Vikram Nair.
Mr. Speaker, I support this bill. Singapore's immigration has been one of the most user-friendly anywhere in the world. This latest bill will make it even easier. The amendments allow further automated clearance for passengers, vehicles, and cargo. Two of these changes, namely the advanced clearance for conveyances and for cargo, are likely to make a big difference at our land borders with Malaysia. I would like to ask the Minister whether the intention is to have automated clearance for most of the vehicles passing through the causeway and the Tuas link. Related to this, is it envisioned that foreign nationals coming through these land borders will also be able to take advantage of these automated clearance measures? I definitely think these measures will increase the speed of clearance at customs. Now, one concern that arises from this, though, is whether these changes will make checks become less stringent. In particular, does it mean that customs officials may not check people, vehicles, and cargo for most vehicles passing through these checkpoints? Or are there alternative automated methods for checking vehicles, cargo, and passengers? I'm also interested to know whether ICA intends to share data and information with other governments which may make automated clearance possible for foreigners in Singapore and for Singaporeans abroad. The sharing of data may also be made consensual, meaning that frequent travelers who prefer to clear customs more quickly may consent to their data being shared with governments of countries they regularly visit. This may be especially useful once the RTS link between Singapore and Johor starts operating. Currently, around 500,000 people cross the causeway every day. If a good part of this traffic switches to the RTS, that may have the benefit of reducing vehicles and road congestion in Singapore. However, this option will become especially attractive if customs clearance is automated for regular daily travelers. This may mean that travel from Singapore to Johor may one day be only a little bit more difficult than taking an MRT. Many of the other changes in this bill include giving ICA officers the powers they need to prevent undesirable people from entering Singapore, including provisions giving them the power to detain if necessary. The requirement for pre-clearance of passengers on board aircrafts and vessels also allow ICA to prevent undesirable people from boarding these vessels if they wish to come to Singapore. Now, these are sensible measures and I think better for everyone involved. Currently, the only way to prevent these people entering Singapore is after they have already arrived, but before they've cleared customs. This means that individual concerns may have to be detained and repatriated. This step will be avoided if pre-clearance can be done. Now, one area of concern for me is how permanent residents are being dealt with. Now, this bill sets out a legal basis for people who may lose the PR status, and also it removes the avenue of appeal to the minister. Now, to better understand the people being affected, I would be interested to know, and I have a few clarifications here. The first is, how many PRs lose their status each year? The second, how many of these would appeal against such loss? Third, of those that appeal and fail, how many would take up the avenue to appeal to the minister? And fourth, I know this last may be a bit sensitive, how many such appeals have succeeded? Now, I think these questions will give us a sense of how many people will be affected by the changes and the extent of that effect. I understand the rationale for these changes is to make clear the basis for losing PR, and the removal of the avenue for appeal to minister is to harmonize the avenues for appeal for other foreigners, such as employment pass and long-term visit pass holders. However, I think people have generally regarded the PR status as being much more important. For many, it is part of a journey to citizenship, while for others, they could be husbands, wives, or parents of Singaporeans. I think it would be helpful if PRs can be given assurance that their status is likely to be permanent, as the name suggests, as long as they reside in Singapore and are law-abiding. Generally, though, I think this bill makes important and exciting changes to our immigration process. Most Singaporeans can expect even more seamless and convenient travel. I therefore support this bill. Thank you.